Hey guys, this is my latest and greatest project. I call her Brianna. Hard to see there because there's no light, but 2011 Crown Victoria P7A, one of approximately 3,850 for the 2011 model year. Let me just set this down for a second so I take off my gloves. I bought this car, I think it was April 4th or April 5th. It wasn't April Fool's Day. It wasn't the same day I bought Ava and Ebit, unfortunately. So it's not a true project in that regard. I'm missing the date and the criteria. Although I discovered the Craigslist ad for my friend on April Fool's Day. There are some problems with this car before I go in totally tangential mode here. First of all, I had to get a new set of chipped keys here. These little suckers right here. You can hardly see it, but it is there. Because the one I had was having issues, and they were also having issues with the gauge cluster. The stock one doesn't display the odometer, and is just not. I don't like the stock gauges in Panthers anyway, unless they're the digital ones. And you can't get digital gauges in 06 Plus, so you're kind of fucked. You're stuck with the stupid analog gauges that don't tell you anything very useful, or at least not in a way that it makes sense. They have a tach, which is nice, but I mean, it's just stupid. Analog tach, it's stupid. It doesn't work, it's not precise. Same thing with the speedometer. Ghettoed mirror, again, you can't see, but this entire housing is going to have to be replaced. Dashboard, well, you know, ended up doing some minor weight reduction, aka stripping parts off that I don't like. It was having issues with the airbags. I know one of the crash sensors was dicked because, again, you can't see, it's late at night here, but the driver's side corner of the vehicle was hit at one point. The bumper cover doesn't line up properly, the grill's loose, and the fender is pushed into the door. That's why I locked this door. This is the only door I lock on the car, the driver's side front door, because it rubs into the fender, and I don't want to crease the metal or chip the paint any more than it already has. And then my friend's attempting to install a Kenwood stereo head unit, because the one I have in here, stock Ford one, again, it's in the back. Actually, it might have some light. Oh, nope, this doesn't have lights in the back. Huh, okay, that doesn't work. With the stock head unit, I would have discs that were very clearly in good condition, but it would say bad disc or something, so, and it just wouldn't play them, so. No, I mean, for $300, I could do a lot worse for this car. I mean, when I get this car back, I gotta get a lot of work done on it. I'm getting new KYB heavy-duty McPherson struts, Hawk brake pads, have the guys check the rotors and the calipers, not my guys in PA, other guys. Yes, I have other places to go. I don't just go to one source. I have a couple. But yeah, no, and she's got, you know, obviously the weight reduction here, before I forget. This, I figured, well, you know, I don't crash my cars, and I certainly don't want to have to replace more parts than I would already have to if I do crash them. So this airbag's gone. This fucking thing weighed a ton. This was at least 20 pounds of dead weight. This one on the steering wheel, again, you can't see it because I have no light. But this one on the steering weighed about 5 pounds, and, well, you have a lighter steering wheel, same rack and pinion ratio and everything, and you're gonna have the effect will be lighter steering. Turn this one off and turn. Yeah, these are both off. Actually, you know, let me go outside and start the car. Nice cold start for you. You're gonna hear a belt squeaking. That's just because the, what do you call it? I know the belt on this car. It's either something with a tensioner or the belt itself. I mean, I figure I'm gonna have my guys check this. Let me. It's got a full tank of gas, so this should go pretty quick. Yeah, see, you hear the squeaking? You'll hear it really, really good now. Turned over pretty quick, despite having a... I have the battery from my 89 Grand Marquis on here. The beige 89's awaiting paint and bodywork. It's parked in a friend of the family's barn. It's got an exhaust leak. This is all getting replaced with BBK long chip headers. 2.5 dual exhaust, preferably with an H crossover section, although I'm not going to flip shit if I don't have it. And then out the back with some Jones tips, which I'm ordering this week. But no, I mean, this car on the title, it says it's got 334,000 miles. According to the odometer, which doesn't work, well, you know, it doesn't tell me anything useful because it doesn't work. Head unit still needs some more wiring done. Oh well. But no, this is a great car. I really like these. I mean, I was in the market for an 03 Plus. Let me hit the lights here. I'm getting LEDs for the headlights and taillights because one of the headlights, one of the covers is kind of, is chipped. So where's my lighting control module here? There we go. Okay, let's start with these. Start with my parking lights. You don't see there's anything wrong here yet, but you will, I promise. The previous owner didn't really put this trim back on correctly, but I like it black, so I figure, yeah, I'm getting brand new LED taillights. These things are still decent. I mean, I'll hold on to them for my friend if he wants them. When I get the LED taillights, I'm going to have these trim pieces. Man, look at how loose this is. Yeah, the previous owner did not do a very good job with this one. I'll get the LED taillights and I'll black out this bottom trim piece on this side and this side, because I do like how this looks with the blacked out rear fascia. Yeah, that belt is not happy. You can really hear it. There she is, just with the parking lights on. Classic 03 Plus front clip. Unmistakable. Idle's real smooth. I mean, I'm sure it's got a miss or something. I know it's got vacuum leaks and exhaust leaks, but, I mean, it's really not terrible. But what I really like this car for, I think I have enough light to show you this too, it's a P7A, which for, I think from 2010 and up, means long wheelbase, which means long doors. In other words, this car's proportions are now perfect. The one thing I didn't like about the later whales, you know, basically any Panther made after 95, they look stupid. I don't like them. And especially on the Crown Vics, the rear doors are too short. The rear doors in most civilian cars, you can't see it because it's like not lit at all out here. I wish I had my phone, but it's upstairs charging and I'm too lazy to go up and get it. But the doors on these cars are about 4 inches too short. Long wheelbase car, I believe this rides on a town car frame. It's heavy duty, so it's, you know, or maybe it's just a lengthened P71 frame. Either way, I can't complain. And this car actually has, I know it's got the McPherson struts in the front. I know it also has a 273 open rear axle, which is fucking terrible. But I'm not going to get that done this year. That's going to come later. I mean, I've already priced out all the parts, but I figured I'd be better off replacing the leaking exhaust and other miscellaneous things. The 327 locker is nice to have. I have one on my 89 Grand Mark, and it's amazing. Good for donuts and really good at helps put the power down to come around a tight turn under acceleration. But no, I mean, this engine doesn't make any bad noises. I mean, the only squeaking you hear, real quiet. 334,000 plus miles according to the title. I mean, all the power windows work. I leave this door open so I don't like totally asphyxiate in here. Let me also show you the light issue. Like I said, I'm just going to replace them all with LEDs. My buddy Henry found a good kit for me online. And so I figure, you know, with the way I drive, I like to be able to be seen better and see better. Whoa, hello. Trying to find my lighting control switch. Where did you go? Right here. Okay. Let me kick the high beams on too. Okay, now you're going to see the problems. At least with the lights. You're going to see why I'm going to replace them. Now do you see the problem? Yeah. Not only is this in crack, but the bulb is just not having it. So this side's okay, but I mean, that's not, you know, especially this is New York. This is deer country. I'd rather have a little bit brighter lights than a little bit less bright lights. Actually, since we're here, I'll see if I can set this thing down. You can hear the exhaust. Like I said, there's no knock or anything. I changed oil in the driveway a couple weeks ago when I got this car. So, I mean, not that it was making any bad noises, but I didn't get any maintenance records with this thing. So, as far as I'm concerned, whoever owned this car before just put gas and oil in it. And without going into too much detail, that's basically what they did. So, I got a lot of maintenance to catch up on, but we'll get there. But anyway, you can hear this lovely exhaust partially leaking. So as you can hear, and I can definitely smell, not terrible, better than stock, if only slightly. Water coming out of exhaust pipe. Whatever. That's why I'm getting all that exhaust stuff replaced anyway. And brief rundown of what's going on in this car. Check pads, rotors, calipers. Replace calipers with higher performance Hawk parts, which have better performance in the cold and the warm, which is good. I mean, you know, the 03 Plus Panthers do have good brakes, but I figure any little improvement I can get, plus 255 50R17 Ryken Raptor ZR tires, plus a little bit of weight reduction I've done. Taking off the little, you can't see because there's very little light, but the stupid plastic rocker trim, that's 5 pounds per side, that's, you know, times 2, that's 10 pounds. Boost steering wheel airbag, and the horn still works. Let me demonstrate that. So we're up to 15 pounds saved. Passenger dashboard airbag gone, that's in 20 pounds right there. So before I even sit in the car, it's 35 pounds lighter. Where's my little horn? Here we go. Hold on. What do you do for the horn? Just put this little, you can't see, it's very ghetto. You just move this little yellow or this little wire thingy, and you basically ground it to complete the circuit. Ground it to anything metal on the steering wheel. Now, I would have obviously preferred to keep it the way it was, but yeah, it wasn't, the buttons or the little icon or the buttons for the horn on the steering wheel, they weren't exactly correct. I mean, someone had messed around with it before and not put it back properly alignment, and I tried to fix it, and I just couldn't get it back to the way it was. And plus, I figured, why not save another 5 pounds by ditching the airbag? Why not? We're here, you might as well. What a pain in the ass that was to get done, but, you know, no skin knuckles either. You can't really see, but I feel fine. I popped the hood, but once again, there's no light. That's about as much light as you're gonna get, which is not a lot. But you know, it's safe to be sure. When I do a better showcase video of this car, it'll have the AC condenser removed and as much other stuff under the hood that I don't need removed. There really isn't much. You know, most of the weight reduction I've already done for this car. And actually, before I forget, this actually has the wrong set of wheels. This car has 90-02 steel wheels, 16 inches. Now, you can run 03 Plus Panthers with 16s, but they have to be with 03 Plus wheels, because if you use anything older, the offset and the bolt patterns are going to be wrong, because the wheels on the 03 Pluses, they sit further, either sit closer or further away from the inside of the car or something. It's just different, and it doesn't matter how good the condition of the wheels are. If you use an 02 and earlier style wheel on an 03 Plus Panther, it will not work. But this isn't a big deal. I'm sure at least one of these is bent, because the guy was driving it like this for a little while. And of course, I had to drive it around just to get it back home and all this other shit. But I figure steel wheels are easily repairable. And you saw I got a set of 17s in the trunk there. So, figure, keep these 90-02s for my 85 Grand Marquis. Good 16-inch steel wheel. That's my favorite wheel. It's the only wheel I'll run on my boxes, unless I can find some nice aftermarket 16s or a whole fuck ton of HPPs for cheap, of which I don't plan on spending that much time trying to do. But, yeah. Transmission pan, 17 shoes. These things weigh a bunch. These things are so heavy. I'm pretty strong, and I can only carry 2 of these at once. It's ridiculous. And then, obviously, new coolers, because I know it was either the power steering cooler or the transmission cooler. It was just dicked, and you could see all the core. It was just a stupid tube and fin cooler anyway. Those suck dick anyway. You want to replace them with stack plate. Just a better design. You know, same size stack plate cooler, like the ones I got, the LPD 4451 and LPD, I think it's 4809. I don't remember the exact number for the other one. Basically, the 4451 is for the power steering, and then the 48, whatever number it is for the transmission. You know, if you expect to do any kind of hard driving, which that's what I do. I mean, I take care of my cars, but I run them hard. So, all that's going to go on. I figure, I also made sure that the hose size, it's 1132 for the LPDs and the stock ones. I cross-referenced that, so they all, and actually, the LPD coolers, they come with new mounts and everything, so it'll all just bolt up. And then flush the coolant, flush the power steering fluid, flush the brake fluid, install the 17s, install the 255 50R17 Ryken Raptor ZR tires, alignment, obviously, check wheel bearings, replace if necessary, change the rear end fluid. Yeah, I don't like my 273 rear end, especially 273 open. That's pretty awful. I think that's the lowest, or not lowest, but you know, the worst gears you get from the factory if you're trying to have fun with these cars. I mean, they are very, very bad. I mean, that's what my 89 Grand Marquis and what my 85 Grand Marquis have. And, or what they had bone stock. The 89's got 327 locker now. That came out of a Lincoln Mark 7, I believe. And then the 85, because I haven't done anything with it yet, it's still rocking the shitty 273 open. Just a terrible, terrible rear end. No power off the line, and it'll just spin one tire, which makes for annoying handling at times, especially if you punch it mid-corner. It'll just, it just doesn't feel proper, and you can't do burnouts and peel outs very good with an open either. At least not the kind that I like. I like to have both tires spinning. So, yeah, a lot of maintenance going on with this car, though. And then I'll get the Metco Watts linkage, Metco control arms, and the ARP hardened Watts linkage studs, studs for the Metco Watts linkage. So that'll all bolt on, because I do expect to take a lot of corners very quickly with this car. And then that's most of the performance stuff. Then I get the BBK headers, custom 2.5-inch dual exhaust, no cats, no mufflers. The standard, the only exhaust I'll ever run in my cars. And then have it exiting basically like the 89s. Basically, just have the tip sticking out just a little bit under the rear bumper, not a lot. I'm buying the exhaust tips tomorrow off Summit Racing, along with the Adco 650 rear sway bar from 92 Plus Panthers, and then the Adco, I think it's the Adco 509 or the Adco 6. No, it's not 6. I think it's Adco 509 03 Plus front sway bar with polyurethane bushings and end links, naturally, because rubber stuff sucks. And then, yeah, actually, that's another thing that's going to go on. Sorry, I'm getting a little out of order. I'm very excited. I really like driving this car, even in its kind of dilapidated state. You know when a car makes you giggle like an idiot and just have a mile-wide grin across your face, that even a car that's kind of trashed like this one is still really fun. You also can't see how bad the seats are. But anyway, yeah, so then heavy-duty McPherson struts, sway bars, brake pads, rotors, calipers. I'll check the rotors and the pads. If they're good, then just keep them. If not, replace them. Not a big deal. They're just wear items. Oh yeah, also new timing chain, a new water pump, because I have no idea the last time anybody did either of the sort on this car, and they're wear items that can leave you stranded if they just go. And with 334,000 plus miles, I ain't trusting any stock unit to last that long, especially not the kind of service that these taxis saw. So yeah, once the maintenance is done, get the first round of suspension upgrades done too, because they're going to have the wheels off. A little easier to do suspension work with the wheels off, because they're going to be checking and replacing wheel bearings and stuff. Then I'll get the control arms, Watts linkage, all that stuff, and then exhaust. And then finally, if I can afford it, I'll at least buy the parts. I mean, ADTR's got them all. 327 locking rear, 31 spline. And then if I can find a good aluminum drive shaft source, it's because this is the pro and con of getting a long wheelbase Crown Vic. Long wheelbases Crown Vic are amazing. They all should have left the factory like this. I love how they look. I like how it rides well, despite having less luxurious underpinnings than the town car. But because of this extra length, the drive shaft, you can't just get an aluminum or drive shaft or a steel drive shaft from a P7A. You got to go aftermarket, because there wasn't any lighter weight, high performance drive shaft offered for the town cars. So you're fucked. But that's okay. I figure a good one will probably set me back maybe 600 at the most. I don't want to spend much more than that, but if it's a high quality unit, I'll go for it. You know me, quality first. And then, my friend will be repainting this car, because as you can't see it here because there's no light. But this car, obviously, it was a long wheelbase taxi. Taxi's painted yellow, because this was a cab in New York City, downstate. No rust through anywhere, just a couple tiny little spots at the bottom of the fender where the rocker panel meets it. These cars have actually really good drainage. I give these cars 9 stars out of 10 for drainage. The only spot they get clogged, you've seen this in the previous video, right here, because of fucking trim. If these cars didn't come with any rocker trim, they would be 10 pounds lighter, and they wouldn't have any draining problems. They'd be 10 stars out of 10. Because unlike on the older cars, they for whatever reason, the water doesn't collect on this edge here. I mean, you might get a couple drops, but it's not like my 89 when if it rains, I got to take a couple sheets of paper towel to it. But this car is going to come a very long way in a very short period of time. All the maintenance and suspension upgrades are going on the car by the end of June, and it's June 9th or June 10th now. So, by early July, this thing will be a corner carving machine. And then probably by mid to late July, I don't know how much the speed shop's going to quote me for the custom exhaust. Probably a butt ton. But it's alright. It's the price I pay for quality. And then probably by July 15th, I'll have the custom exhaust on, because I'll have the parts ordered by the end of the month. I mean, I already have, I'm going to have all, like 90% of the parts I need for this car for this year ordered by Tuesday. So, kind of an incoherent at times video here. Sorry about that, but she's going to get there. Brianna is a car that I can daily drive because the interior is trashed. I mean, the front seats are awful. They're going to have to be completely redone. Rear seats, I'm just going to ditch them later. Not like just destroy them, but like just making a sofa out of them or something. And so I don't need to worry about dirtying the car up because the paint job is terrible as well. I can get as many rock chips as I want, and I'm not going to get many because these cars have good ground clearance. I'm not going to put any lowering springs on this or anything. I'm just going to keep it at stock height. I want to have the front and rear at the same height, which I don't believe they came from the factory. I believe the P7A and the fleet cars had a slight rake to them, but whatever. I'm not going to go completely OCD about that. But she's going to be a great car. She's going to stop good, handle better, sound good, drive better. I'm very curious as well because this is uncharted territory. To my knowledge, there is not a single 4.6 2-valve Panther or 4.6 2-valve anything with aftermarket long tube headers, no cats, and no mufflers. I have seen I've seen a bunch of rear cat delete whales. I've seen a whole bunch of resonator / muffler delete whales and many arrows as well. But I'm kind of out in the skinny branches here. Nobody goes all the way with these cars. They always cut a corner. They don't get the aftermarket headers, or they don't go catless and mufflerless, which is the only way I go, and the only way I will ever go on a car that I call my own. Same thing with paint jobs as well. I mean, one of my best friends, Matt, who you probably have seen some of, maybe, whatever, irrelevant at this point. He's going to be stripping this whole car down to bare metal, every inch of this car, except for the engine bay core support area, because I don't really give a shit. I'm not going to see that very much anyway, and I want to always be reminded of what this car is every time I pop the hood, remember what it used to be, a taxi. But everywhere else, the door jambs, bumper covers, which I'm going to replace because they're really terrible. Someone actually tried to epoxy the corner of this one, and it's not very good, as you can't see, but it's terrible, trust me. And so he'll repaint this car. I don't know the exact name of the color, but it's a factory Ford color. It's a dark blue. So at night, it'll look nearly black, so it'll almost look like this. But then during the day, when you get lots of sunlight, you get a nice clear coat. He's going to do at least 5 coats of clear on that thing, so it's really going to pop during the day. And then, he'll weld a bunch of holes shut. Because this was a taxi, there's a bunch of antennae holes. There's one right here, big one here, and some miscellaneous wiring. He's going to take off the headliner. He's going to charge me a bunch for it, but it needs to be done. And then delete this trunk badge here. I've seen whales without this trunk badge, and it looks very nice. Hole here for the taxi medallion. All this is going to get welded shut, and then obviously repainted this whole car. So, I mean, the paint job isn't going to happen over the summer, though. That's going to happen over the winter. I'll park her and then just drive a 93 Honda Accord, which I'm actually buying from the older brother of said friend who's going to be painting my car. So, a lot of things happening with this car, even though you literally can't see any of it. Well, maybe see... I can see a little bit of the driver's side rear wheel there, maybe. Is that the door? Yeah, who knows. But, again, for $300, I'm amazed. This is the best purchase I've made. The 85 Grand Marquis I bought for $100 less was undrivable. And is still undrivable because it needs fluids flush, brake pads, rotors, calipers, brake lines, fuel lines. Whereas this car, I drive into town periodically. Not often because I don't really like how it drives the way now. I mean, it's still a long way off, but she'll get there. It's going to be a fun ride. You'll be seeing pictures and videos of her, and you'll be hearing plenty of this car. I mean, one of my favorite things doing with the Grand Marquis was just driving to nowhere or driving to familiar places and photo shoots, either solo or with my friends, or, videos of the exhaust and tours of the car. It was just a great car. It was just a good thing to have. Makes you feel good. And if a car doesn't make you feel good, you shouldn't drive it. You shouldn't even own it. That's why I'm so blessed to have a car like Brianna.